Hello and welcome to Three Grumpy Old Men in St Kilda. This is Dick, he's Mick, I'm David, and somebody's got a birthday.
I'm 67.
Oh, you old bugger.
I am an old bugger.
You are older than me, after all.
I am an old bugger. A fucking old bugger. Oh, it's sad.
It's sad. What are you doing? Anything special for your birthday?
You know what I'm doing?
What?
Bugger all.
Oh.
Well, look, I've had so many birthdays. I'm so over them.
Oh, but my mother always said it's your day. You celebrate it no matter
Well, I've got
what.
a daughter who has a birth month.
Right.
So it's,
Yeah.
a month of constant reassurance and
Why a
present.
month?
Because she's a greedy little pig. Entitled.
And
Spoiled.
you're like certain friends
I wonder
on
who
certain
did that.
nights.
Yeah.
All right, let's get down to our topics. First one, is it too early to put up Christmas decorations? And does Christmas mean anything anymore? What do you reckon, Mick?
Isn't there a guide to when, decorations should be put up and pulled down?
Well,
But you're writing the guide.
I know it's 10 days after Christmas or something.
What,
You
to
gotta
pull it down?
Get it all down.
I
On the
thought it was
12th day of Christmas.
12th, yeah. Otherwise, it's like very bad luck, apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I know people that leave the Christmas tree up all year round. It's,
And how's their
it's
life
an
going,
installation.
David?
They're very happy. They think it's hysterical. So what do you think? Are you into Christmas?
I'm into Boxing Day
Why Boxing Day?
because all the sales start.
Okay,
I used to
that
take
would be
the
the
kids.
last thing that
You
would
are so
interest me.
mercenary. You haven't got a generous, lovely bone in your body.
I was a pensioner and I had 3 children, so I figured if I took them out on Boxing Day, they'd get twice as many presents, wouldn't they?
Oh no, I'm big into. Sorry, I forgot to buy your Easter egg. I'll get them on Easter Monday, and it's half price.
Or buy them at like half price and keep them till next year and give it to them on Easter
They
Sunday.
go white. I tried that.
What about you? Because you're
Okay.
a Jewish man.
I'm
what does
Jewish.
Christmas mean to you?
It sort of means
They
a lot.
murdered him. That means a lot. They
No,
murdered
that was
him.
Easter, you moron.
Oh.
I have a big interest in ritual and rites, and I'm an atheist, and part of the problem with atheism is that we're very poor on a few things. We don't have good death narratives, and we don't have good rituals.
Do you have
Right.
hell?
Sorry?
Do you have a hell?
A hell? Well,
No.
No, because there's no such thing.
So where do naughty Jews go?
Nowhere.
Well, they go to Sheol, which is a few metres below the ground, and it's sort of, we're not big on the afterlife.
Right.
But in a competitive response to Christianity, we got more into it. But prior to that, we had a different interpretation of life after death, and it was pretty forbidding. It is all about trying to stay alive.
Oh, okay.
And post-mortal compensation is not really very good. But no, I think that humanity needs certain things that religions provide. One of them is rituals. And those are 2 sorts of rituals. One's the annual ritual, like Christmas or
Yep.
Anzac Day in the
Yep.
secular
Yep.
civil calendar. And the other, of course, is a rite of passage, birth, death, marriage, etc. And birthdays. Birthday is a ritual.
Yep.
It's a rite of passage.
But surely you're going out to dinner tonight. You are.
I'm a sad bastard. I may be a grumpy bastard, but I'm also a sad bastard.
But you know that it all stemmed from pagan.
That's right. So
it was a pagan celebration at
it was a
Christmas.
pagan and also a Roman celebration.
Yep.
And that's
So it had nothing
Who
to
were
do with.
pagans?
yeah,
They're nothing to do
Saturnalia.
with Jesus'
So they had
birth.
Saturnalia, and the task of good religions and good conquering.
There are no such
People.
thing as good religions.
Oh, okay. You're such a curmudgeon. Geez, you're in a bad mood. Anyway, is to take over and sort of incorporate the rites and religions. So if you look at Christmas, all of the major symbols of Christmas have nothing to do with little
Dollar
baby
signs.
Jesus. Yeah, fair enough. I don't mind that.
Christmas trees.
You know, but they don't have. They're all about Yuletide, European Yuletide symbols of
Red-nosed antelopes.
Yeah.
No, it's not fun.
Well, I can put a view out there that it's not a very Christian time.
Well, it's supposed to be, but Americans are the one in particular. Father Santa. Saint Nick, and he was purple suit. Coca-Cola made it the red suit for their advertising campaign, and made Santa drinking Coca-Cola, and that's when Santa took off.
That's right, and Santa
There was a cocaine in the product at the time, I'm sure.
There was
in the early days, yeah.
But Santa is confused with Father Christmas, but they're actually two different mythological bases.
Yeah.
But we've smudged them all together.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
He's a man, hopefully not a pedophile, who gives you prezzies.
But hold on, what about the Christian side of it? Especially the Catholic Church and Church of England really go to town. Midnight Mass, the
I
whole
go to
bit.
midnight mass.
Yeah. Why? You're Jewish.
I'm Jewish, but I do like certain rituals. So I do like Christmas carols.
We used to do it as Catholics when it first started, the midnight mass. Mum would drag us off to the midnight mass. That way we didn't have to get out to bed too early, and we could have lunch earlier, that type of thing on the day, you know.
Christmas carols are fun, and they're tried and tested, so there must be a million Christmas carols, but the ones that last every year and are played ad nauseum are the successful ones.
Absolutely.
And they've got the test of time.
Yeah.
And it's a popular culture. And by culture, I mean a non-verbal expression of what a group is about. So in the army, part of the culture is saluting and all that sort of stuff.
And doing what you're told.
And doing what you're told. All that stuff, uniforms.
Yep.
Isn't it about the birth of Christ? That's all it's about, really.
Hold on, he's telling a story here. Yeah, well, that's what it's supposed to be,
Yeah, and
the birth of Christ.
by the way, Herod did try to kill him. He killed all the other little babies in
Well,
the
that was
land
after he
at
was
the
born,
time.
So after the Christmas day, per se.
I've got a narrative defending Herod. Mainly because I've got one of my one of my relatives was by marriage in Israel. I've got Israeli relatives. Was one of the primary archaeologists for Herodian architecture. So Herodian architecture is massive. You know, you've got Masada, you've got the temple, and you've got another palace. So he's a bit of a star in my family's narrative. So we love Herod.
Wasn't he a Roman
Quisling?
puppet?
A bit,
Just
but
puppet.
you know, we needed more of those because the Jews were very antagonistic to Rome, quite opposite to the reputation of the Jews in World War II. In World War II and in the Roman era, the death toll of Jews was about 50% of the community. So it's interesting to compare that in one they were really antagonistic and got absolutely butchered, and in one they were, you know, less assimilationist and more calm and got really butchered. So
I always love it. There's a family that I know here in Melbourne, and they're quite Jewish, as in, you know, like follow the Jewish religion. And I said something about Christmas. Oh, you wouldn't celebrate? Oh, yes, we do. We celebrate Christmas. We're not going to miss out on all those gifts and all the food. And, you know, and I went, really? And they go, yeah, but we don't actually call it Christmas. But we give each other gifts. We don't have we have a Christmas tree, but we don't. You know, it's
and
not
that's
a Christian.
part of the elevation of Hanukkah in the Jewish calendar. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's to calm little Moishi down because Moishi wasn't getting a pressie on Christmas. So okay, you can get 8 smaller presents a week earlier at Hanukkah.
So Christmas decorations, you know, like they've been up now for a month. Far too early. Should be beginning of December, shouldn't it?
Are you going for Grinch Award? Are you competing with him for the Grinch?
No,
You are.
I'm just saying.
As soon as they come down, the Easter ones go up anyway, so, and that's months out. I mean,
And that's good.
It never
Say
stops.
it's good.
Nothing wrong with selling stuff.
All right, so you don't care about when
don't
Christmas
call
Oh
it
no,
Christmas Day, though.
I think you've got to be careful.
Super sales.
I think you've got to be careful that you don't push the boundaries too much.
Yeah, and too early, you don't feel that you're in the mood, you know, like, and all of a sudden on the 1st of December when they're all up, everyone gets more excited and would go out. Anyway.
No,
that's
I've got
by
my
the way.
Christmas carols on my iPhone going now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God.
Do you put a Christmas tree up?
Of course.
When?
Oh, pretty late usually because we're
Lazy.
We're lazy. Procrastination is our middle name. But
Poor bloody trees.
Christmas. Oh, the poor one.
They're only little buggers, and you chop them down. And
But hold on, who chops them down? You have artificial
arseholes,
ones.
obviously.
no, we have the
Arseholes.
proper ones.
Yeah.
Oh, do you? But they're grown specially to be chopped down, Mick, for...
They wouldn't have meaning or life without
It's like
Christmas.
all the salmons in the nets in South Australia.
What?
No, they're
What have they
different
got
to the
do with
salmons and nets.
Christmas.
These trees get their purpose, get their ontological meaning from Christmas. They wouldn't exist without Christmas.
So they wouldn't be there.
They wouldn't be there. They wouldn't have meaning.
So all that
Given a
land would
fleeting
be
moment
empty.
in life to wonder
Yeah.
what
And
it would
joy.
have been
But
like
it's
if
better
they
than
joy
nothing.
and
It's
happy.
better than nothing.
Yeah.
I don't
They
know.
wouldn't have been planted.
Fuck that. No. I can't agree.
All right.
Is
Move
anything
on, move
I
on.
say about Christmas
We're in a
going to
hurry, don't
persuade
forget.
you?
I'm not very happy about all this.
All right. He's a grumpy old man.
He's a grumpy old man. You're not even pretending to be grumpy. You are pure spleen and nastiness.
I have been incited today. Wait till we get to our pet peeve.
All right. Next topic. Street people.
Oh,
Thoughts?
We should be caring for them more. A lot of the people, I know a lot of the people that are in the streets here in St Kilda, from like Ackland Street all the way through down Fitzroy Street, live with them. for
They're
years.
everywhere. They're not just...
No, but
like-
then we'll talk about our particular area. They're everywhere, but we have a particular problem here
So,
in Port Phillip.
can I congratulate you for that view? I think it's a great view. But, and I got monstered about this on Saturday night, people find that it diminishes the wealth of certain shopping areas because people are too scared to go there because these people aren't scary. They just don't want to, shoppers don't want to see the underclothes.
It's chicken and egg, Dick. If people come to the street people disappear. They don't hang around in the street.
Well,
so
they
much.
say that, they're just
you'll
not
have
visible.
You'll have one or two like that, like a mound of a man that sits in Ackland Street and swears and pisses on the footpath in front of you.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's a more mental health issue in a case
true.
like that.
He's not even homeless, this bloke. He's got a place.
Well, that was my whole thing. Like street people, a lot of them aren't homeless. I've been told by many council people here in St Kilda that they're not homeless. They've all got a home.
Not all.
But a lot of them don't want to be there. And they use the street as their lounge room.
That's right, and their drug market. So,
Some people also just can't live with walls around them. Some people need to have their back to a wall and
Yeah.
open space in front of them. Otherwise, locked in a room, they'll go mad. They will.
Well, they
get
wouldn't be locked in a
more
room.
affected. It doesn't matter. Having the walls around them
Yeah.
is enough to set them off.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
need to be
And
out in
and
the street.
and that's the problem, is the mental health of so many of these people. There was this guy this morning. I was out walking with a friend with a dog, and this guy was coming towards us, and he was yelling and screaming abuse, not at anyone, like in
That's
his own
into the
head. And but it's scary. He was scary.
Yeah.
And my friend said, I think he was the guy that kicked my dog last week.
Yeah, well, if they're off their face or
No, this
going
guy
on,
was
they're
scary.
out of control.
so can I push the bounds of your tolerance a bit?
No.
You're grumpy.
Oh, look. Oh, he's smiling.
A
Oh.
semi-smile crept onto that stone-like
Don't
visage.
let that deceive you, David.
Okay, can I just push your altruism a little bit? I mean, it is all about the other users and getting that balance. And the other thing is, some people do suffer by ending up living in the street, whether they make a conscious choice to do that or not. Sometimes it's better if they have housing that's sufficiently attractive that they use it.
Yep.
No, look. You remember way back when there was a toilet underneath the Moreton Bay Fig down there, yeah, on the corner of Fitzroy Street.
In the gardens.
No, not in the gardens.
Oh.
On the triangle. That's where the
Yeah,
Moreton Bay
that-
Fig
yeah, that
there
little
used to be,
garden.
and that's where all the Aboriginal street people used
Yep,
to stay.
yep.
There.
Yeah.
right? But council decided, no, we're taking that away,
Yeah.
and we don't want them sitting there in the island away, on their own. Yeah, and they took the toilet over the road.
No,
now the street
I've had
people
long
don't go over there. They won't go over
Well,
there.
they're locked all the time anyway, those ones down in Catani Gardens. Interesting enough, I was out last week.
Put the toilet back there, they'll all go there.
And I was chatting to these people, in a social gathering, and he's a developer here in St Kilda, and was really slagging Fitzroy Street over Grey Street down past the 7-Eleven, which is the neck of the woods I live in, just not on the street, behind it. And I said, have you been down there recently? Oh, it's disgusting. I said, there's hardly an empty shop, and the amount of people on the street, there's probably 4 or 5. We end up getting in a huge argument about it, like a huge, and I was damn sure that I was going to say, it's not as bad as your pain. You don't know the street anymore. People don't realise it's not as bad as it used to be, though.
So, I mean, look, we're on Fitzroy Street here. Out of the hot zone, I never see all of the problems that people complain about. And it's incredibly debilitating for the street to have this now probably misleading message going out.
Absolutely, and that's what I was defending.
And it's self-fulfilling.
Yep.
There's
And
still
it was
4 or 5 that hang in the shop.
Of course, there's 4 or 5.
Back in the day,
there
when
would be
Fitzroy
30
Street,
or 40.
there would be 30 or 40, but we wouldn't see them because there'd be 2,000 punters walking up and down Fitzroy Street. Having fun, having a fight, doing all the sorts of things people used to do.
But it's just so annoying now that everyone's got this opinion, but they don't really know the street anymore. I'm in the eye of where it is quite bad. It's not bad where we are out the front here. But
no, it's fine.
But it is a little bit bad. But it's not bad. Like, most of them say hello to me because they recognise my face because I'm there every day. So. And that's why I got into this big argument, and it was somebody's friend that I shouldn't have got. It's already come back to me.
So, what were the implications?
Well,
the ramifications?
Is that I'm looked at in a very bad light with all these people now.
Your grumpiness credentials are now set in stone.
Yep, and I'm proud of what I did there. That I stuck up for the street. I stuck up for Fitzroy Street.
No, good on you.
And my friend that I was with said, "You're very passionate, aren't you?" And I went, well, especially considering that they weren't really delivering what they should have seen what's going on in the street. Moving on.
Please.
Electric cars. What's your thoughts?
Marvellous. Air cleaning little monsters, that would be. Charge them up. I mean, there's talk about getting the supermarkets and other areas where you get free charging, and in a lot of places. Cars will be able to be your emergency generator should your house power go out or whatever. An electric car can charge your house, light a house for 3 days, almost, I believe. There's a lot of different ways we can go about that. I'm great supporter of it all.
Can I say there's a few little complexities I wish to raise. With electronic cars, they're fantastic if your power source is clean energy. Now in Victoria, where we've still got remnant brown coal, it's a very complicated formula about whether an EV is doing as much good as it claims. It will always be better than an internal combustion engine because all those internal combustion engines are like having little power stations under the bonnet. And of course, they're always going to be small and inefficient, and not only that, they're expelling hydrocarbons, and that's a no-no. So, who couldn't be in favour of EVs?
Yep.
I just want to say, in a place like Victoria where we've still got brown coal, they're not as good as we might think, and so it just makes it more urgent to get out.
It'll get better though.
Yeah, it'll get better.
I've got friends that just over in Windsor, and they've got an electric car, and they've got solar panels on their roof, which they've charged. And so they're doing all the right things, and they've got chooks in their front yard, and and
I'm against
they're
that.
in a city people, and it's good to see. But the federal government's not doing enough on that level, I don't think.
I agree.
With the electric cars.
Now, there was another thing I have to say.
Yep.
There's this controversy because all cars are taxed by the state government because we have to pay for roads that are used by all cars.
Yep.
So the state government, and I don't know if they've gone back on this, had a charge for electric vehicles which was additional because they collect it through the petroleum surcharge. If there's no petroleum surcharge being paid, then how does the electric car user pay for roads and road maintenance?
Yep.
So it looked dreadful, but there was
a reason.
There was a reason for it.
Yep.
That part of the funding for roads is raised through a tax that EVs won't pay.
Yep.
But look, it looks shit out. So we've got the Victorian government charging electric cars when they don't charge petrol cars.
I think that's changing.
I think that's changing.
They're in the process of changing.
Because it looked dreadful.
I did, but
there was a
rationale.
rationale.
Totally.
And then the naughty old federal government.
Well, how embarrassing, and we shouldn't talk about it because we haven't spoken about it most weeks. But the Glasgow thing, we're last now. Good on Australia, we're last.
That's the Australian way. How dare you?
Questioner. Now that you've been waiting for this, what is pissing you off?
People not getting their shit together and having programs start on time.
But there are reasons that. Thank you, Lynn. You're doing a wonderful.
Oh, happy birthday! Where's my expensive present? Oh.
I like the gaffer tape hanging on the bottom of it.
I believe that's empty, Lynn.
There was a reason. Sometimes people can't be on time if things are broken, and you've got to fix it before you can move on.
Well, I'm about to get up and leave.
Well, that's
the act of ultimate grumpiness, and I would encourage you to storm off and leave in a theatrical way, and not in
I'm almost too,
fine. I'm going.
I'm almost too stunned to even contemplate it.
Oh, Mick, that's not a Mick.
Can we move on?
But hold on.
Let's move on.
Have you got anything you want to be pissed off about?
Well, I've got a few things.
Only a few this week.
But they're the same old.
Give us one.
I'm pissed off with these people who are conflating jabs with a civil rights issue so that they're giving up their footy career.
And lawn bowls.
Sorry?
And lawn bowlers are doing the same.
Yeah, it's not a civil liberties issue. There's lots of...
No.
There's lots of constraints on our behaviour, like stopping at a red light, because it protects the rest of the community.
And out on a football field, every time that whistle blows, you've got to take orders from that person that's blown the whistle, like it or not. If you don't think it was a free kick, you've got to...
That's right. It's quite a disciplinarian...
And your coaches, you've got to show up to train at particular times. Otherwise, you probably lose money on it. If you punch somebody, you get kicked out for a few weeks. There are so many rules in a game of football.
It's true.
And I bet you anything they drove a car to get to their training every week as well.
So it's a very rule-intensive environment. But why did this... I think it's sort of like the fashion and momentum. So there's, 5 to 8% of people who just...
And it's becoming less and less because we're almost double 90%.
It's an achievement.
I think we should be very proud of ourselves.
Yes, I've been getting smacked around on Facebook on my opinions in regards to the percentages, and the lack of sense of the maybe we'll end up 3% of those that refuse.
Well, good on you, Mick. I hate to say this, but you're being very good on this issue, and I'm sad that people are being mean to you on Facebook.
Get fucked, it.
I wasn't that patronising.
Can we move on?
The right to protest in Melbourne. Is there too many protest marches in Melbourne? Last weekend, there were 3 protest marches happening in the city of Melbourne.
And they joined up together at one stage.
Accidentally, and they were all
They
against
bumped
each
together.
other.
Yeah.
But like, I have a confession to make.
You were there.
No.
Oh,
Strangely, I wasn't there. Like, I've gone to a lot of protests.
oh likewise.
And sometimes they're a total waste of time, and sometimes they're not a protest. So what do you say about Pride March? Is Pride a protest,
No.
or is it
It's a
was born
celebration.
out of protest,
Well,
and it's building on that tradition?
No, that was Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, but also
Mardi Gras. Pride March has always been, that's why it's called Pride March. It's the pride of you as an individual, of your clan,
Yeah.
per se. It's, you know, like here in Victoria, the Pride March was never political. And yes, you can be political with what you want to say on a banner that you're carrying, but it's a pride, your personal pride. But Mardi Gras in Sydney started off as a protest march, and they were all thrown in jail that night. And out of that has
Came
come
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, no, I accept that distinction, but I think that I've gone to a lot of demos, and I've had calls over the year to think about, are they a complete waste of wanker time? You know, there you all are showing off and virtue signalling. But some have led to change.
Well, right now the Victorian government are
Has
changing,
changed.
Yeah, because of the amount. That was a huge protest march last weekend for, you know, like saying get rid of.
But you
the
know,
bill.
that a lot of those people were interviewed and they had no idea what was in the legislation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware
and
of
indeed,
that.
that was repeated today on ABC Radio.
Okay.
They were asked, what's in the legislation? I don't know what's in the legislation, but gee, it's terrible.
I love that. That's hysterical.
it's been watered down by the Greens and you know, actually put into.
But is it those people that love to march and protest over it?
I've been the target of a protest.
I can
Really?
imagine why.
Why? Because of the pink
Colour of his
outfit.
clothing. Look at the way he dresses.
Well, now, let's not go through all of my peccadillos. And
Was that one of your Melbourne Cup outfits?
no,
Oh,
no, this was started off. It's a beautiful jacket, but this started my whole jacket problem. No, it was a planning decision that I was associated with, and then became identified with the Triangle site, and they made a film about what a prick I was.
Yeah.
But you would, I
what
would,
an honour. You've had a film made about you.
Yeah, yeah.
Being a
Serge-
prick.
Serge
Being
was
a prick.
Dick
Serge
the
was a
prick.
big
Dick the
fan.
prick,
Yeah, yeah.
Dick and Mick the pricks.
Serge was a big fan of Dick's.
Yeah, but like, I'll give you an example. I went up to, there was an election, so I went up to the Greens guy and said, you know, so you're upset about the retailing, eh? Yes, so there's too much retailing on it. How tall is the retail tower on the site? And he said 7 stories. And I said, there is no retail tower. He had no idea about the actual proposal. And that's typical of a lot of political debate.
Yeah.
They're always complicated, but people get swayed by emotion and momentum, fair enough, and off you go for a demo.
Demos are no good. Marching is no good, in my opinion. Vote. You know, just vote. If you want to get rid of something or change something, vote.
What happens if you're in a safe seat?
Eh?
What happens if you're in a safe seat?
Lucky them.
Huh?
Lucky them.
Well,
No, I'd change
Well,
the whole
it can
system
be
anyway,
swayed.
mate, you know,
Yeah.
in my book, the whole system needs to be changed.
I mean, a lot
The
of
combative
us...
system that we operate under now is not serving us well.
Yeah, that's a huge question, but it is true to say that people feel a bit disenfranchised by their vote. You know, they do it because it's, you know, they care and it's compulsory, but, you know, unless it's a
do you know
swinging
what?
seat.
I think that's, you know, like every vote's important, and we've always been told that. And people have got to realise that just because what they are voting for doesn't get in, well, you know, like, then not everyone's thinking the way they're thinking, or people just go like sheep.
That's a democracy, though.
Exactly.
Shit. If your mob doesn't get in, too bad.
And
I mean,
you know, like,
you all went for the vote. Everyone, you know, if you don't vote, that's where you're a mug.
Oh no, well, I think we all agree on that. I think we all agree
You
with
know,
you there,
but
Nick.
marching and protesting and you know, like howling at the moon.
Oh, I
not
think
the
that's
thing
good,
I'd
especially
do
the
for
howling at the
myself,
moon.
you know.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, full moon. I
I'd
still
buy a
do
dog
it.
to do that for me.
All right, moving on. Wooden spoon of the week.
Okay, so there's quite a few contenders. You know, there's all those elite sports people who are arcing up about the vax. But I sort of have to go to Glasgow.
Yes.
Wooden spoon.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's like existentially important.
Just about every topic we bring up today to bring this wooden spoon together will include fucking ScoMo. I betcha, because that's the real problem. He gets my wooden spoon for Glasgow, for the electric car debacle, for the, you know, watering that down.
Well, so we all agree that our Prime Minister gets a wooden spoon.
Oh, I'm into it for sure.
I mean, I find I can't watch the television when he's on the television.
No,
No,
that
it's-
smirk.
That smirk.
Yeah.
And the sense that he's...
He's blatantly lying to us. I mean,
And
I'm a body
I-
language reader, mate. The guy is outright, flat out lying to us.
And now he's they're
No
actually
belief
saying,
in his
oh,
own
but we
conviction.
promised in our last election that we would do this. And I'm thinking, you break the rules all the time. So he's won it. You know, like
But
the
what
wooden
happens-
spoon's
what
in the
happens-
mail.
I won a wooden spoon once for being the stirrer of the year at my rugby club.
Hey, I could imagine that. I could
still got
imagine.
it.
Did you play union?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Dick, Mick, thanks for being grumpy today. We're three.
He's been shocking. You've been shocking today.
We're being
I hate
three-
to interrupt, but you've been shocking.
He has.
You've
Beyond
been-
grumpy.
He's been beyond grumpy.
I think
He's
you've all been a little bit too happy over the last 3 episodes, to be honest. So, you know, if we're going to be grumpy old men, let's get fucking grumpy.
Well,
Thank
but
you for
but
watching.
you lied. He lied. Speaking of lies, he was going to storm off the set.
Yes.
because
I was.
You were going to
You
storm
were too
off the set.
entertaining.
Oh,
bullshit.
we've entertained him now.
Oh, by the way, one last thing. I
Yes.
actually bought a laptop by mail order, like...
That's hysterical. You shouldn't have told us that.
No, but directly off Lenovo, but I forgot that I had a different address when I first set up my Lenovo account.
It's important to have a
So
major
they're
cock
sending
up.
it to my old address, and I'm on the phone.
But you did threaten to storm off, and you
We'll
haven't
see you
done
fucking
it.
later. I've had it.
Leave your microphone.
See you later, folks. We're three grumpy old men.
And he's gone.
And he's gone.
Gone out.
See ya.